Hey guys, I'm Matt from Pop Horror Review the Movie Podcast, and I'm just a guy in front of a camera talking about movies. Scream 6 came out. Boy, was it good. Let's talk about it. Okay, so if you watch my Scream 5 review, you know I wasn't too happy about a sixth one being made because I thought the fifth one had such a great ending. Please don't make any more sequels. I understand, like, they led it right towards the sequel, and it's probably just going to be the new cast. I think the movie would still be good without the legacy cast and just the new cast because who they have left was great. But I thought they had a perfect ending to both stories. It ended the whole franchise. It ended the movie. Like, it was a perfect, like, we're done. And, like, kind of go out with a bang. I was wrong. Scream 6 was great. And also, I am so looking forward to Scream 7. It's rare that a franchise this long going, even though it's only 7 movies or 6 movies, it's been going on since the 90s, to have mostly good movies, in my opinion. So I am so ready for a 7th one, which should be the end. Now, if you ask me what the 7th one should be about, they should bring back all the final girls, guys, everyone from the Scream franchise, and face off against the biggest bad they've had, Stu. Don't come for me if you hate that theory. Stu is still alive. Stu is not dead, and he's going to be the killer in Scream 7. And that's how you should end the franchise, and if they want to keep going, reboot it. Let's get into the movie. This is better than Scream 5. There's only one thing I liked better in Scream 5 than this, but overall, I like Scream 6 better. I think putting it in New York City gave it this new life. Also, being from New York and living in New York City, most of this could be true. Like, a lot of the stuff like that happened in this movie could happen in real life, and that's why putting it in New York City is great, because people don't care as much in New York City. They will go on with their life. Look at the subway scene. People are sleeping, listening to music. Like, I feel like that gave me such anxiety because that could really happen. She couldn't scream, and that's pretty much the only thing you can get someone's attention in New York City is screaming. Yeah, but Scream 6 setting took it to a whole new level. The set pieces were great. The suspense of the city, it just was his own character, which was great. And I think taking it out of Woodsboro really made it feel different, which is why they can keep going, keep making these movies, and still hit highs. Like, I think it's going to be the best Scream opening for its opening weekend, which is the 6th movie is doing that. That's crazy. That's great. Like, what other franchise really could you say did that? And also how New York City added new life. I think the story added new life, the way they did it. It wasn't really that meta, because I think we're in 6 movies here. At a certain point, the meta is going to start to feel a little stale. You're doing a requel sequel. Like, how much more can you do? You know what I mean? So they kind of have to rely on the meta-ness, but also start to, like, build on other things to not let it fall flat. And what they did was they focused on character development and a character-driven story, which is really, I feel like I've never seen that in a Scream movie. And it's more, you know, once it starts, it goes. This one kind of was able to take a breath. What happens after a Scream movie? What happens in between these little moments that you share? Like, you never really talk about, like, the people who survived together. And I think the core 4, like, that whole idea was great. Because, like in the old ones, it was Dewey, Gale, and Sydney, but, like, they never really, like, they never had these, like, kind of grounding moments. It was just, like, once it started, it went. And this one kind of just, like, showed their lives a little bit. It was able to, like, have the meta-ness and the Scream aspects while also telling a grounded story, which I thought was interesting. And it took a little bit to get used to. I was like, this feels weird. What are we doing here? Like, why are we showing, like, what's this scene about? And then, like, and that was towards the beginning of the movie. I'm like, oh, we're really kind of slowing down, showing what they're going through. And I was like, oh, it's kind of really cool. I feel like I've never seen that in a Scream movie. So, like, they kind of, like, passed the baton from meta to character driven while still having both at the same time. And I'm curious what Scream 7 can do, because I'm pretty sure they greenlit it. I think I saw an article. If it's going to go more character-driven, more meta, or they're going to take both and really increase both of those aspects. Now, here's the elephant in the room. Did I miss Neve Campbell? Yes and no. When they did mention her name in the movie, I was upset. I do wish she was in it. I do think if Paramount, give her fucking money, because she needs to be in the 7th one. Even though it's a complex situation, do you just let her have her great ending from the 5th one, or do you try to, like, top that? Because there is a risk of ruining that. Like, as much as I want her in the 7th one, and I feel that's a great way to, like, kind of, like, end it, like I said before, I didn't necessarily need her in this movie. They kind of told her where she was, and that made sense. And, you know, she had her happy ending from the fifth one. So it was kind of like I missed her, but at the same time, they filled her void well. They filled her Sydney-sized hole in the movie well. And because of the cast was great. The new cast, great. Brought back legacy cast. Hey, Matt here, Courtney Cox. I really do think they did a good job not having her there. The seventh one, though, I do think, I'm curious where they go with it. I did think that this one brought bigger stakes with the longer kills and the gorier kills. It just felt like it had a bigger impact. And that might attribute to the New York City setting. It just felt something new. It felt something new, even though being a sixth one. And like more new than the fifth one was trying to be. And I think they were able to, you know, do a proper fifth one to kind of tie up from the 1, 2, 3, and 4, but then start a new thing, a new trilogy for the new directors. And I think this one was their first one where it was like they got to play around. And like the fifth one was more classic Scream. This one they were able to have classic Scream and put their own touches in it. And it worked for me. It really did. Now, the one thing that I did not love was the killer's motivation. I was kind of surprised. I feel like they chose more predictable killers with the detective and his kids, even though the kids I didn't really see coming. But the detective, I was like, I kind of see how it could be him. But then, like, once Quinn died, I was like, oh, not really. And then the Kirby storyline, thinking it's her, did make me double think if it was the detective. But so it wasn't necessarily the who the killer was that was a little weak. It kind of copied Scream 2, and it was like they did it for Richie. And they wanted to frame Sam. And, like, she was the real killer, not Richie. And it was kind of similar to Scream 2. So I was like, okay. But then it was like, they're talking about requel sequels. And I'm like, is that intentional? Because then a lot of times when, like, you think something's simple, there's a lot more meaning to it with the meta-ness. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just, like, not thinking about it as much as I should. Not, like, kind of, like, appreciating how meta it is. Overall, it was a solid movie. I really enjoyed it. It's high up there on the Scream movies for me. It's probably top 3 because I think New York City gave it such new life. And I'm curious, like I said, the seventh one, like what they're going to do. Like, can they keep this like lightning bolt going up, going? I mean, like I gave the fifth one 8.5 and I said I like the sixth one better than the fifth one. So I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. I really liked it. I really suggest you go see this movie. It's just a really good, fun movie. And like I said, to kind of like wrap things up, I cannot wait for a seventh one. And if they want Neve Campbell to remind everyone again and to remind Paramount, give her fucking money. Let me know what you thought of Scream 6. Did you like it better than the fifth one? Did you like it less than the fifth one? Are you excited for the seventh one like me? Or are you not? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Cheers.